Welcome. Come in. Oh my gosh! Wow, it's been a minute, you guys. I've missed you. But let's make up for lost time and get on with the show. Welcome to the Book of My Mind podcast. I'll explain it later. I am your host, Adefe Adeniran, aka Alien Superstar. You didn't think I forgot. To the Tubes family, welcome. I've missed you. Mwah, mwah. To the podcast apps family, welcome. I've missed you guys too. Mwah, mwah. To the Tubes family, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. And of course, you can come over here on all podcast apps. To the podcast apps family, you guys are where you're supposed to be. But if you don't want to be here, you can go to Book of My Mind or Adefe Adeniran. We'll explain that later. And if you want to comment, you can email the podcast at bompodcast@gmail.com. Bomb spelled BOMM podcast@gmail.com. Yay. You guys, this episode is going to be relatively short because I want to go back to not having a life and doing that with flying colors. Okay, so I love celebrity memoirs, biographies, autobiographies, however it is classified. As long as it is written or is about a celebrity's life, I'm here for it. Why am I here for it? Because I am here for the tea, babes. The tea. Not because I think celebrities are particularly great writers or have any thoughtful thing to say. No. I just think celebrities can give tea. It's like an extended People's Magazine article. You know? So, like, for instance, I read on Rita Moreno's book. Did you know that Rita Moreno and Marlon Brando had a torrid affair? Had a tumultuous relationship? Yes, Rita Moreno was Marlon Brando's lover for multiple years. I don't like to call it a lover. Side note, I say my rule is this. If you were secretly seeing somebody for more than 2 years and they were pouring in resources and doing the most to ensure that you're still there, but in secret, I will just call you an underground girlfriend. Yes. Rita Moreno was Marlon Brando's underground girlfriend. I didn't know that. Maybe some of you old Hollywood addicts knew that. I didn't. I read that book and I thought that was interesting. I mean, there was so much tea there and I liked it. Now, again, was there some things of substance that Rita Moreno was saying? Yes, but overwhelmingly, look, it's not that. Like, I know celebrities might sprinkle a little bit of, sob stories. No, maybe not sob stories. I'm sorry. These are these people's experiences. I know celebrities sprinkle some stories that detail hardship in their lives in there for them to be humanized, but in mass, I'm sorry, I don't really think celebrities are smart or have anything insightful to say. So celebrity books to me are just, it's tea time. Okay. However, there are those once in a blue moon books where I come in for the tea, I stay for everything else, and that is what we're going to discuss today. So today I am ranking 5 celebrity memoirs that I genuinely loved, that is not tea-based, that is just substance, good writing, informative. I took something away from it, Okay, so without further ado, my babies, let's go. I realized that was a long intro to actually say what I wanted to say, but we're going to keep it in because I'm not a pro, and you guys need to know that. And you don't need to be a pro to have dreams. Okay, let's go. At number 5, we have Bossy Pants by Miss Tina Fey herself. Okay. So, in order to make a celebrity memoir convincing or worth reading, you have to capitalize on the thing that makes a celebrity a public persona that you want to know outside of the movie or the song, right? And you have to hone in on that. Tina Fey, though, is not somebody you want to hone in on her personal life. I think Tina Fey is one of those, call it the field she's in, you know, she's not really like an A-list actor or one of those, you know, she's more known for the show running stuff and just her career. Tina Fey is somebody who, when you look at her, you admire the work, or you don't admire the work, but you are really tackling Tina Fey from a very professional career standpoint. You either like the work or you don't. You either think she's funny or you don't. You know, I mean, I know that there's some sexist, misogynistic biscuits that, you know, would want to focus on her looks, but in mass, that's not what people do. So I came into this, you know, wanting to know some tea about SNL, wanting to know about her career, and I still came out of it wanting to know about her career. I got some stuff, but Tina Fey is interesting. Of course, she's a great writer. Of course, she's intelligent. There was so much in here, you know. She very much included her very unintersectional feminism. Shout out to her. We respect somebody that does not know intersectional feminism. No, we don't. But, you know, I don't have time to dissect this today. Come on. Anyway, good book. I think well written. Substance was there. And, okay, well, I'm not going to lie. There was not that much tea. I wanted to hear, like, you know, she was very careful in saying and not mentioning any celebrity names. She was talking about celebrities that are assholes, people that she didn't like. She didn't want to mention any names. I guess she wanted to keep contacts, but just say the names, bro. Just say the names. But that was not my main concern when reading this book. And that is why it lands on my list. Next. At number 4, we have Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. I will be honest with you. I think on this ranking that this should go a little higher, but there's so many other different reasons why the other books I have on here are higher, so I'm sorry. But Year of Yes is good. Now, Shonda Rhimes is even more of a private than Tina Fey. She suffers from anxiety. She doesn't really like to deal with people. We love an introverted Black queen. So I really wasn't, when I read this, when I came into this, I wasn't coming in to like hear Tina, why am I calling her Tina Fey? I'm sorry. To hear Shonda Rhimes bash her Grey's Anatomy actors or any of that. I truly did come in here for the writing, because I know one thing that, say whatever you want to say about Shonda Rhimes, but one thing you have to give that lady is she can write her ass off. Okay. Now, she was very vague with her stories. She made sure to make her stories as, do I want to say political? Yeah, I mean, she was very sure to intercede, like to make the personal political when she was talking about being a single mother and the cultural meaning of being a single mother, and that she mustn't take it that way. She also was very, very intentional about calling out her privilege and mentioning that, look, I have privilege and I don't have any reason to complain, but I do feel like shit sometimes. And I think that's a fair position to hold. I think it's fair to say, look, I understand where I stand on the hierarchy of life. Hi, you guys. I'm sorry. So throughout the rest of this, I kept on referring to Shonda Rhimes as Tina Fey. I think I was still in my Tina Fey brain. But please note, I even wrote in the transcript that I was talking about Shonda Rhimes, not Tina Fey. Okay? Thank you. I love y'all. Thank you for sticking around this long. Bye. But that don't mean I don't feel bad. It's not to say woe is me. I'm not saying don't cry for me, but I'm only human. I bleed and I break down. It happens. Shout out to that. I love that. One thing I also realized is I knew this, but Tina Fey really honed in on this. It takes a lot of unappreciated effort to make a good, or even not a good, but a decent ass script. It takes a lot. And I love that Tina Fey really went into the specifics of it. So, in one passage, she was talking about how, if you're talking about Russia, you have to know about the Russian leader, but you don't get points from the audience as a writer for knowing about the Russian leader, but you do. You have to be specific about shit. And you have to... And she's just detailing girl, it gets stressful. You need to know what you need to know. Now there was a part of me that was because I, at this point, I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm jealous of people that are super knowledgeable and that can keep a shit ton of information in their head. How are you keeping this much information into your head and knowing when to use them? Exceptional people exhaust me. Can we move on from exceptional people now? Okay. Now, at number 3, we are moving on from somebody who is very unapologetic about being exceptional, as she should, to somebody who does not claim to be exceptional and who is fine to sit in that. At number 3, we have Dear Girls by Ali Wong. One of my favorite stand-up comedians ever is Ali Wong. So you best believe I was ready to pick up this book. I was excited. Babes. Now, I did not pick up this book expecting any celebrity tea, because when this book was released, she was relatively unknown. She was gaining buzz. She had those 2 Netflix specials, and then she had Always Be My Maybe also on Netflix, but she is not, but more so then, she was not a household name, right? So Year of Yes should actually be in this spot. I'm not gonna hold you, but this one ranks really high in terms of the substance category. I was talking about how a good celebrity memoir, the ones that stick with you aside from the tea, is the substance. Am I the only one looking for substance? Sorry, it's a substance and the writing. Now, the writing was not A1 or whatever, but the substance made up for everything I didn't get. Now, I didn't get celebrity tea, but Ali Wong does really raunchy comedy about how much of a hoe face she had in her 20s or before she got married. I wanted that. I wanted the raunchy stories. I wanted the stories of her having sex with losers. I wanted that, and I got it. I did. The stories were so good, what she used to do when she was 20 and irresponsible, in her 20s and irresponsible. I love that. But where the book really does ring home to me, because I've read it twice and I love it so much, is the fact that she's giving her girls lessons. She's really trying to pass this on to her girls. And aside from the raunchy stories, you can tell that when she talks about having Asian American pride, her preferring them to come on with Asian American people. However, working hard, finding your place as a woman, especially a woman of color. And she was talking about how she came into the comedy career and the discrimination that she faced. That is amazing. And Ali Wong has this, her sense of humor is really relatable. It's not that Dave Chappelle humor where you have to be a scholar and like really intellectual to go along with it. No, it's a very relatable sense of humor, but she is intelligent. She is intelligent. I don't want to play with my sis Addie like that. But I love this book. I really did. And the forward, is it the forward or the afterwards? Whatever, the end of the book, the epilogue, let's call it the epilogue, was written by her ex-husband, Justin Hakuta. Such a beautiful write-up. And I read the audiobook. Can I just say that man's voice is sexy as fuck. You guys, when I heard that they were getting divorced, I was like, ugh, love doesn't exist. After she spoke so well, and it's not like she didn't say that there were shitty moments. Of course there were, but she spoke so well about that man. And now they're divorcing, and he contributed to her book, and now they're divorcing. Oh, love is a losing game. Yeah, but yeah, I don't believe in love for the fact that could happen. But yeah, no, I love this book, and Year of Yes should be higher based on like just writing in general, but I'm sorry, the substance is great. Sorry, boo. Whew. At number 2, we have Will by Will Smith. Okay, so I came into this book because, like everybody else, or maybe let me not say like everybody else, because let me not project my vapidness onto other people, but I came into this book wanting to hear some tea about, frankly, listen, what is going on between him and Jada? Are they in an open relationship? Are they not? However, I got out of the book not caring that much about that. And I feel like y'all should also not care about other people's marriages. Okay? Leave other people's marriages alone. That's just a PSA. I love this book. When I think of, even though Will Smith is an attractive, charismatic, likable man, or at least let's say that's how he translates on screen, in his movies, on the interviews, that's how he translates. I never thought Will Smith was per se like a complex, interesting human being. Truly, especially recently with this whole fake positivity, motivational speaking that he was trying to do. I was not thinking complex human. I was not thinking human that I want to know more about and that I'm invested in. No, I just thought, character, performing positivity, all those things. I was pleasantly put to shame. Honestly, I was. Wow, I think that I learned so much about his upbringing because there's an E! True Hollywood. Ooh, my gosh, do you guys remember E! True Hollywood story? So Will Smith has an E! True Hollywood story, and they didn't go nearly as much in depth in this. I didn't know that Will Smith came from trigger warning, an abusive household. I didn't know, Will Smith is a smart ass man. I didn't think he was dumb by any means. I really didn't. But I didn't think he was highly, highly intelligent. Right? Will Smith had a lot going for him. If I got accepted to 5 Ivies, I'll just go to one of those 5 lists. I don't want to hold you. I would never think that rapping was ever worth pursuing. But he got it. Will Smith is I love this book. I think it's a great read. Now, the only critique I have about it is the audiobook version, because obviously I'm reading the audiobook. It's him reading it. And Will Smith sounds like he's actually reading this book. He sounds like there's a book in front of him and he's reading, because the way he's like, I had to realize that and it's like, or maybe it's just him like performing this positivity again and trying to lecture us, but it's like, sir, no. You know, every other reader has this like conversational orator tone to them, but not Will Smith. Will Smith has to, you know, do the absolute most. I don't know. Okay, let's take a break. Okay, and we're back. At number 1, we have Redefining Realness by Janet Mock, aka my boo. Okay, so I don't know if Janet Mock counts as a celebrity, but I'm gonna put her here. Redefining Realness is a book by Janet Mock that was released in 2015 by Black feminist or intersectional feminist and trans activist Janet Mock, who is a trans woman or a woman of trans experience, however we say it. I really like this book, you know? So I don't know. Like I said, this was released in 2015 and I read this book last year, and I don't know the hub or the hullabaloo, as we should say, surrounding this book when it came out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Of course, I only became aware of Janet Mock because she wrote for Pose, and I love Pose with all of my heart. And so I was like, let me read the book, and I thought she was really cute and I thought she was attractive, and I was like, okay, let me read the book. I like that I didn't know the hullabaloo, because, you know, like the Will Smith book, like the Ali Wong book, I came in not wanting to know anything. However, I could imagine that cis people that are overly curious wanted to read that book to know about the genital stuff, to know about the transition, to know about and what I love about this book is, even though I didn't come in wanting to know that, or not wanting to know that, but I didn't come in expecting that to be the forefront, certainty, but I love this book. I think Janet Mock is so smart. When you read it in the audio, oh my gosh, her voice, the way she reads it, I know this is not the point of the book, but girl, you could fall asleep. Like, not fall asleep like mistakenly because your attention span is trash like mine. You could actually just fall asleep listening to her, because her voice it's so smooth and she reads it so well. And she's like, you know, and she takes the right pauses and she reels you in the right ways, and she, you know, her voice is also really warm. It's a fun experience. I would really recommend you read it. She's just absolutely brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. So okay, you guys, that ranks my list for the top 5 celebrity memoirs that made me feel feels outside of wanting tea. That is not what I'm going to name this on YouTube. Chill. But yeah. Okay, that's that.